I'm good. I'm good.
That was loud.
I peed myself.
You peed yourself?
Yeah.
Your butt's so shiny.
I hope it's not wet. Queer Girl Straight Skates! What's up, everybody? Welcome to Queer Girl Straight Skates. I'm Rebel, and today I, as a beginner slider, am going to teach you how to slide. Now, before you freak out on me and say, but Rebel, you already did a video that said how to slide. Yes, I did, but it was about sliding on P-rails, and also I learned how to slide, and then I didn't slide again for a year. So, because I was clearly terrified and didn't really learn how to slide on a ramp, what we're going to talk about today is how to begin the process of learning how to slide, which is really where I'm at. I have gotten some wonderful advice from a few great friends, and I'm going to pass that advice along to you today, and we're going to see how it goes, so that if you are a person who's terrified of sliding, like I have been, / still am, you will have the first few steps to take in order to start becoming the best slidey hoe of your dreams. Queer Girl Straight Skates is a YouTube channel full of roller skating videos, whether it's tutorials, reviews, or lifestyle roller skating videos. If you like roller skating or you want to like roller skating, I highly suggest that you subscribe. I put out new videos every Tuesday, so click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell, because every once in a while I sneak another extra little video in there, and you want to know when that happens. So the first thing you might want to know is, what is a slide? A slide is when you are on some sort of rail or coping or anything, essentially anything that has a little bit of a curve to it, and you lock your skates on and then you slide over once you are locked on to that coping or corner or whatever it is that you're trying to slide on. So you could like hook on and then slide to your left, you could hook on and you could slide to your right, and once you get sliding, the basics of sliding down, there's a whole bunch of variations to slides that you can try and learn and all sorts of fun stuff. We are not even going to kind of get there today because I am also a newbie at sliding, so we're just going to be going over the very basics. Slides are amazing and totally adrenaline filled, and also terrifying for people who've never tried them before. So there are a few things that you can do as a beginner to slides to start preparing yourself to be a successful person who slides, and there are also some tactics to approach your first slide. Before we go into how to actually begin to slide, let's talk about some things that we need to know beforehand, that we need to prepare ahead of time in order to make it so that we can actually successfully make this slide happen. So the first thing is that on our skates, we need to have something called a slide block. These are also called grind blocks, and people also call them blocks. What a block looks like, there are several different styles of blocks. What they look like is, if you've ever seen like a little white thing or a colored thing right in between the wheels on the plate, in between the trucks, then that is a slide block. You need something like that because in order to successfully slide, there needs to be something that you can slide on. If you just try and slide with your plate, some people can do it with different types of plates, but I would not recommend it. And that is definitely an advanced thing for people who already know how to slide and know what they're doing, not for us beginners. So that's the first thing that you need to know. If you want to know more about slide blocks, put it in the comments below and let me know if you want me to make a video all about slide blocks. The next thing that we need to make sure before we move on to actually knowing how to slide is to make sure that the surface that we are trying to slide on is slidable. So there are many ways to check and make sure the surface is slidable, but one thing to do is just to put your foot down on it and slide it back and forth and see how slick it is. You might have to, if the surface is too rough, you might have to wax it. If you want to know more about waxing surfaces, just throw a comment down below. And once you have established that whatever it is that you're trying to slide on is indeed slidable, then we can start with learning how to slide. So as a beginner to slides, the first thing that you need to be able to do is stall. And so you want to be able to two-footed stall on whatever it is that you are trying to slide on. So whether that is a P-rail, whether that is a coping or a railing or an object in the street that you're trying to slide on, you need to be able to feel stable in stalling with 2 feet on that item. Once you feel comfortable with that, what you're going to do, instead of going straight forward into a stall, what you're going to do, and this is a thing that really blew my mind and totally made it possible for me to actually do the little baby slides that I can do now, is instead of just dropping in on a ramp and going and stalling directly in front of me once I reach the other side of the ramp, what I'm doing is I start at one side of the ramp, and then instead of just going straight ahead and trying to stall directly opposite to me, I'm going to drop in or start going on the ramp, and then I'm going to carve and try and stall a little bit to either the right or the left of me in front. So instead of just going across and then stalling directly where I'm looking, I'm going to start at one side or the other of the ramp, and then I'm going to go into it, and I'm going to attempt to stall on the other side. The whole premise behind this is that you should be able to, not thinking I'm going to slide, just thinking I'm going to carve and then I'm going to stall, you should have the momentum that your skates and your feet will move over a little bit and you will successfully slide. One thing I was told is that the amount that you carve going into your stall, which is going to end up being a slide, the amount or distance that you carve, that is approximately the amount or distance that you will end up sliding. So if you want to try and do a longer slide, then what you should do is to try and carve longer or reach a farther point on the opposite coping than what is directly in front of you while you're approaching the coping. Important things that I was told. The first important thing is to work on sliding first by putting both feet onto the coping at the same time. So you're not stepping with one foot and then the other onto the coping. What you're doing is you're putting both of those feet onto the coping at the same time, which is going to give you a little bit more stability within your slide. Another thing I was told is in order to have more stability, you should have your skates a little farther apart than you think. So your skates shouldn't be right next to each other while you are sliding, but rather they should be distance apart, and then you should have that bend in your knees while you are approaching and going in and through the slide. This is also going to help you to not banana out, which has happened to me quite a few times, or clipping your own skate and then falling back into the ramp, which has also happened to me a few times. The final piece of advice that I received when it came to sliding is to try and push my chest forward, but my butt is sticking out. So my chest is pressed forward, my butt is sticking out, and I'm really into that squat. Like I'm really at first trying to bend in and find that stability, because you want to be, in order to have a longer slide, you want to be more on top of the coping as opposed to just like on the side of the coping, because that's going to provide you more stability for a longer slide as opposed to just like a quick boop and then back in. What you're gonna see while I'm doing my slide is that I'm still really new at this. This is all information that comes from people who have been sliding for a while or who are really good at sliding, like Zelina and Kiana and Cami Slammy. So this is a starter adventure from a beginner to a beginner. Let's get really good at sliding together. Sliding is really, really difficult, and oftentimes there's a really big mind block that goes along with the idea of sliding. So if you don't get it on the first time, that's okay. Just go ahead and keep sliding. I know that for me, like, I even made a video learning how to slide, and then after the people who are coaching me left, I was so scared to keep trying to slide that I just didn't do it at all. And it took a huge crew of people being like, come on, you can do it, you're gonna slide. And then like these tips that I gave to you today, it took all of that in order to get me trying to slide again. So even if you're scared, even if you don't do it or you fall a bunch of times and you end up with huge bruises on your butt and, you know, crap happens, it's okay. Just keep trying, keep sliding. You got this. And everyone's journey is their own. So if you get it right away, yay, help other people. If you don't get it right away, that's okay. Keep going. Thanks for watching this episode of Queer Girl Straight Skates. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to get some cool stuff. I just put a bunch of new earrings into my shop, cheerstothequeers.com. And if you want to support me, you can become a Patreon, or you could PayPal or Venmo me. Anything that you can give really, really helps to support this channel. And most importantly, cheers to the queers! I've got